Game of the day. Rziggy versus Marinos. Grimm versus Jess.
Welcome back to the channel, folks. Sammy Original Guy here, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web, bringing you another lively game of the day. Today, folks, we are playing on Megatron. This is a standard matchup with triple base, airport, and comm tower support. Now, we have Marinos and Rziggy as our players today. They are playing as Jess and Grimm, respectively. Now, not too many people pick Grimm. Only the boldest of bolds pick Grimm, or people that have absolutely no idea how to use them. So we're going to see some pure fun stuff today. Now, when we take a look at this map, folks, Megatron is a very, very standard map indeed. One of the standard maps of all time here, folks. Do have a partially exposed HQ here, just a little bit. Yellow Comet HQ definitely looks like Shredder from the 90s Ninja Turtles cartoon, folks. You cannot change my mind about that one. Sorry to ruin your childhood. But anyways, so we have triple base here. So, what I would say is definitely these two bases over here would be responsible for going in this direction over here. You could potentially bring your vehicles over this way too, but it does take a little bit of extra time. Now, once you capture this base will go down here and be responsible for primarily for attacking this entire section of the map over here, folks. Now, it is very difficult to pump out a vehicle from this position, so this, what I would say, is more of an infantry base, because you can put them on the mountain, get them here the next turn, then pop onto this property, or potentially pop onto this property and start infantry spamming over there, folks. Vehicles from this position and this position would make a lot more sense. So definitely get your vehicles over there, folks. You have to send an infantry way over the mountain in order to capture the airport over here. This airport is a little bit more easy to capture because you have a standard infantry route in order to go there instead of going over the mountain. Plus, this one is a lot more beneficial long term for the flow of the match here, folks. But who knows what is going to occur in Advanced Wars, folks? Absolutely anything can occur in Advanced Wars, so you never know what's going to happen here, folks. The other thing to note here is this in the middle is a river tile that is not a sea tile, so you can walk over that. So better watch out for that one, folks. But without further ado, let's go ahead and see what went down in the live league today. On the first few days, folks, you all know the deal. It is the standard infantry build because you gotta get the infantry on the field. It is the #1 priority in Advanced Wars by Web. #2 priority in Advanced Wars by Web. After all, folks, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for all that hot live league action. All right, here go the infantry. Beautiful stuff, folks. All right, we're about to be capturing some bases here. Looks like our Jess player has not quite reached the middle yet, but we'll be sending a few infantry into the middle this turn. Okay, it hasn't quite gone into the middle yet. I do like the idea of getting something in the middle right away in order to grab some of these properties, because that will be a lot more beneficial in the long run, because then you can go and interrupt these properties as well. It might be a little bit difficult to interrupt the properties if you don't already have these ones acquired here, but I don't know. We'll see what happens here, folks. We have a flippin' mech over here from our Rziggy, our Grimm player. Now, this mech is probably built out of the position that is the most difficult to get it to the front lines, but this mech might be responsible for going over the mountain and potentially acquiring the airport slightly faster. So maybe that is the plan here, folks. If that is the plan, I don't necessarily disagree with that at all. You might as well get a mech over there, because 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. You do actually acquire the airport an entire turn early. That's the plan. Our Rziggy over here with a plan with that mech, folks. He's got an absolute plan, banger of a plan. Let's see if it pays off for him, folks. Oh, and Marinos actually mimicking the mech play, folks. Is the mech the meta on this map? For getting that airport, it is quite possible, folks. But our Rziggy busting out the battlecopter over here on day 6. Day 6 battlecopter is incredibly powerful over here, folks. But it looks like Marinos has 11k in the bank, which is perfect because he will be able to acquire an anti-air this turn. Boom, there it is, folks. Get the anti-airs on the field. Number 3 priority in advances by web. Make sure that you have a counter to your opponent's battlecopter spam. Now, when you're dealing with Grimm as well, anti-airs are incredibly effective because they actually will do additional damage to the infantry due to the lower defense. Now, if we take a look here, even if you're fighting it on a city, this will be a one-shot KO. So, beautiful stuff, folks. Beautiful stuff indeed. There's absolutely nothing that can save a Grimm infantry from a Jess anti-air. Except for maybe a mountain, folks. That is probably the only thing that could potentially do it. But after the comm tower is acquired, I don't even think a mountain could save the infantry. Let's just go ahead and take a quick gander here, folks. I'm very curious. Nope. Nope. That is a guaranteed 100% damage. That anti-air, if it is not countered by Grimm with a tank or something, that anti-air is just going to be an absolute flippin' slaughter machine, slaughtering every single infantry in its path. Doesn't matter how many infantry are there, folks. 1 a day to keep the infantry away. That's all that you need. Boom. Can't actually hit anything yet, but the heart is there, folks. The heart is there. This tank can't really take an effective hit on anything right now. Unfortunately, the Grimm damage on a tank to a tank on a city is actually still pretty significant. And it's 50 to 60% damage here, folks. Now, he would have to attack from a road, would get counterattacked. Oh, geez, that is not the right terrain. Let's flip that back around here, folks. Boom. Yeah, he could potentially be hit pretty hard. Counterattack at 5 HP would be 59 to 45% damage. So I wouldn't necessarily suggest going and taking that attack, but considering that there is a forest terrain there, we could potentially just take 3 damage back in return. So you never know, folks. You never know. If I was a Grimm, I would go up and smack that tank. I would smack it out of existence here, folks. But Marinos definitely senses danger and doesn't do it. He does not keep the tank there, although I don't know, maybe it would be a pretty good idea to keep the tank there, because then you could counter and then bring up the battlecopter right afterwards, forcing the anti-air purchase. Look at this flippin' infantry wall over here, folks. What an absolutely massive infantry wall protecting the battlecopter from harm. Now, it's protected. It is definitely protected, folks. There's nothing that can break that. Unfortunately for our good friend Marinos playing as Jess, it is impossible to break that wall at the moment, but an infantry has been destroyed. I don't necessarily agree with that one, though. We could easily move infantry plus 5 HP, clear this. Battlecopter goes and interrupts the infantry right here. I think that would be a much better play than using the battlecopter to destroy the 7 HP infantry, because then at least we would maybe not lose this infantry. It is possible we might lose that infantry. Once the anti-air gets into position, folks, it is all over for this front. Air unit wise, that is for sure. Nice little infantry stripe over here from Marinos, but our Rziggy not out of the woods. He is definitely finding his way home here, folks, because he has multiple attack potential here. Now, the only sad thing is the battlecopter cannot attack any of the tanks. It could potentially go over here and attack an infantry for free. So maybe that's going to be the play, folks. That it could potentially be the play. That is the play here, folks. He goes up, he snipes out the infantry, and the massive 140% firepower right there over here from Grimm, just absolutely slaughtering the opposition here. Doesn't go for the KO on the infantry here, but injures these infantry here. Like, no other CO can do this much damage to people, folks. It's not a thing that happens. It's not a thing. Only Grimm can do this kind of stuff, folks. Only the bravest of folk play Grimm. That is for sure. Alrighty, folks. Boom. Big old movements over here. Great place for the anti-air, actually. It's out of harm's way. And doesn't really have to worry about anything. Battlecopter could potentially move in and attack, but anti-air literally covers everything. Now it doesn't cover everything because an attack up here was made. Oh, interesting. I don't know. I don't know if I really like that attack because Battlecopter moves up, attacks tank. Tank blocks over here. This tank can't reach the front lines. This anti-air can't go and cover this area. So I think this is a little bit of a throwaway unit right here, folks. But let's see how our Rziggy responds to such an attack over here. He goes in. He does the attack. Oh, he doesn't block with the tank. He blocks with the infantry, which is also fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Alrighty, folks, not too shabby at all, but the Battlecopter is completely safe from anti-air right now. Yeah, he's got nothing to worry about over here. As our Rziggy casually moves in a few more units here. Now, on day 12, it looks like Jess is lacking in units, folks. 21 units to the 28 over here from the Grimm player, but infantry are about to be deleted out of existence here on the map. Several of them just disappearing. Have no idea where they went. They have gone absolutely AWOL here, folks, but unfortunately, it looks like Grimm will be able to get a few successful attacks this turn, definitely lowering the unit count once again over here from Green Earth player. Oh, that is a beautiful block, actually well played over here from our Rziggy, blocking with the Battlecopter, preventing an interrupt on that property. That is going to be a flip property. That will be 20k to 18k over here from our Rziggy, the Grimm player. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful little snipe there. The one thing I would like to see a lot more from the Grimm player right now is definitely a few more copters, but we shall see, folks. He's got plenty of tanks on the field at the moment. If we had a few more copters, I think this would put him in a very good spot, but we'll see. We shall see what happens here, folks. This Battlecopter can't attack anything. He has to just stay put. Yeah, there's nowhere he can go, folks. And with 6 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock, there is not a whole lot of time in order to think. But Grimm does not need to think, folks. Grimm just attacks. He pops the Knuckle Duster, gets a massive attack, gets the KO, gets the flipping KO. Now, Battlecopter is exposed to attack here, does have to contend with the big flipping power here, folks. We're going to have a turbocharge next turn. That turbocharge might be able to eliminate tank, definitely would be able to eliminate this, but the real question here, oh, actually with turbocharge, Recon moves up, attacks mech, and then that really helps out this front quite a bit here, folks. Oh, but Calm Tower, oh, this is so far forward. This is so far forward. That is 3 strikes. That is 3 strikes over here, folks. 3 strikes and you're out. Oh my god. This guy might even be exposed as well, folks. Alright, so he's going to go in for an attack. 1 attack right there. 1 attack right there. I would have probably considered using the infantry to interrupt this capture right here, because I'm not really sure if it's valuable to go in and interrupt that with a tank or anything at the moment. Okay, so he pops the overdrive. If he's got the power, he should have waited to move this unit. Should have waited to move that unit. Yeah, because 1, 2, oh, he could have used the tank to interrupt if he didn't move the unit first. Sometimes these things happen in Live League, folks. Sometimes they do happen. But this could have definitely been moved here to interrupt this. That could have been an absolutely massive flipping attack. But we shall see. Battlecopter moves up. He's going to have to interrupt with the tank now. It has to happen. Does not want to lose that Calm Tower right here. Tank. Oh, why would we move there? No, move here. Move here. Use this. Attack that. A little bit of positional errors here, I think, folks. But oh no, and we missed that attack right there. See, this attack could have definitely went a little bit better here, folks. Like instant replay this just a little bit. Like anti-air moves here. Anti-air is right there. Infantry clears this. Tank moves on to city. Blasts this tank. Recon moves up here. Attacks the mech. And then your front is doing really good. Like, just out of curiosity, I mean, the other attacks are basically guaranteed, but mech or recon onto mech with co-power attack here. Super co-power attack, it's doing 83 to 90% damage, folks. You gotta go for that attack. Like, why wouldn't you? So, unfortunately, now this attack right here, these guys are absolutely doomed. They're not going to be standing up to the attacks that Grimm has in store for them, even with the Jess firepower. So unfortunately, let's see what happens here. Definitely going to be some big damage over here. But will our Rziggy actually go in for the attacks? That's the question. He goes in for the anti-air strike. Goes in for the mech strike. Doesn't bring the battlecopter forward though. Okay, that's fine. I mean, you don't have to bring the battlecopter forward, but that's okay. We don't need the battlecopter in the front lines just yet. Absolutely massive snipe. Wow! Taken out. Alrighty, folks, we're continuing over here on day 15. Already on day 15, halfway through the game, folks. For those of you that don't know, whenever we are playing live league games, there's a 30-day limit. Whoever has the most properties captured at the end of day 30 is declared the winner. Or if you happen to win before day 30, well, you are also declared the winner, folks. So sometimes it's worth it to hold on until the very end, but we shall see, folks. It looks like Jess is behind 17 to 21 properties now. Definitely has a uphill battle here. Needs to get those KOs, needs to start acquiring some properties here, but did do massive damage over on this front. The only sad part about it is she's got no infantry, absolutely no infantry on this side of the map here, folks. A flippin' soiled abomination has made its way onto the standard game, folks. Absolutely stinking up the place over here, our Rziggy. Now, a Grimm Neo tank definitely on the stronger side of things, folks. Need a lot of defense when you're dealing with Grimm. So, probably a really good buy for Grimm at the moment here, folks. Definitely stenching up the game. Kind of feel like vomiting a little bit, but let's continue on with the game. Boom, another infantry on the prowl. Another infantry sniped out of existence over here as the tanks begin to move up the battlefield, and more units are just deleted out of existence here. Now, tanks are at a very nice position over here, sort of securing the middle of the map here. This battlecopter needs to make a move. He's got to get the heck out of dodge, so hopefully he moves somewhere. Beautiful. Absolutely great here, folks. Got another recon on the field. Get the recons on the field when you're fighting Grimm, folks. They are wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Got another knuckle duster over here from Grimm now. Boom, big old 60% damage with a 8 HP tank onto an anti-air on the city. That's the kind of firepower we're dealing with when we're playing Grimm, folks. That should be about 80%. Yep, right there. Beautiful stuff. Doesn't go for the infantry hit because that is just asking for it to be destroyed. So, great stuff. Artillery. Very good, actually. Artillery are very good for Grimm as well, folks, as long as you can have an effective blocker. Usually battlecopters make very good blockers. This Soiled Abomination is probably going to be the greatest blocker of all time over here for the Grimm player at the moment. Would have preferred to see the classiest unit advancers by web, but occasionally, you know, people just want to get stinky, and, well, you can't really do anything about it, folks. You just tell them to get some soap, and then you move on with your day and have yourself a good one. That's about it, folks. That's all you can do. Boom, artillery has been struck by this awesome wall break over here from Marinos. Very, very nice indeed, but cannot continue the attack over on the western front. Minus a few hits over here, but does put units in range of these guys. Not really a huge fan of putting units in range of mechs. I would much prefer to keep them just out of range of the mechs so I can destroy the mechs myself, but is what it is, folks. 2 HP battlecopter sacrificing itself over here. Eliminates another battlecopter. Now we are going to see some of the most devastating and stenchful damage that you have ever seen here, folks. This guy is obviously going to be going for the tank on the city. Now, for those of you that are still watching at this point, folks, I want you just to pause the game. Just pause the game right now and just tell me what your prediction is for the amount of damage that this Neo tank, this Soiled Abomination, is about to do to our nice little friendly tank on the city. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He is going to be doing 102 to 109% damage, folks. That's what he's going to do. He's going to be absolutely deleted out of existence here. Boom. See you later, buddy. Didn't even have a chance to do anything fun. Boom. There he goes. Well, actually, he did do a couple things that were fun, but that's okay. That's okay. Few things that were fun, but he's gone now, so it is what it is. Oh my god, if he destroys the anti-air, he's got absolutely almost no counter to this battlecopter at the moment. Minus this guy right here. Oh, I would very much consider destroying the anti-air. There's no other battlecopters in this vicinity as well, so just moving down here, attacking that, might not be the worst thing in the world. But either way, fairly strong wall. But the one issue now is Jess. Jess is an issue. Oh my god, there's a second soiled abomination on the field here, folks. Blech. Gross. Alrighty, folks. Jess just got super co-power. Got the overdrive, folks. There is definitely some potential for this overdrive, but with the soiled abomination on the field here, unfortunately, there's not really going to be too many attacks that he's going to be able to do on the eastern front. On the western front, there's definitely some potential. So let's go ahead and see what will occur here, folks. One of the properties is about to be flipped, and overdrive is popped. That is what I'm talking about, folks. There we go. Full 8 movement over here from these tanks. Infantry sacrifice. And we got a big old flipping attack right there, folks. Absolutely beautiful. One shot that guy, get him out of here. One shot that guy, get him out of here. Attack the thing, the mech. Yeah, that's okay. This guy, actually, in all reality, this guy should get the heck out of dodge, go up and attack this mech. That's what should happen. Just get him out of here, go here, attack the mech. I hope that's the play. I hope that's the plan. Let's see. Let's see if it's going to be the plan. Alright, one shots. Okay, he goes for that. I would have preferred to see them. I don't know. You know what? They're both fine, but I kind of just want to see the mech get destroyed. Destroy the artillery, though, folks. Like, absolutely. Like, the infantry, they're not really a huge threat at the moment. Like, if you're going to be sacrificing your tanks, destroy a vehicle. That's what I would say. I mean, as long as you're going to be destroying a vehicle, then it's okay. This guy's going to be able to attack something. Neotank is just going to delete one of these guys again, unfortunately. Deletes that one. Huh. I would have probably preferred to delete one of these two. Now, the only reason I would prefer to delete one of these two over here with the Neotank is because these guys could actually still escape. This guy is basically not going to be able to escape over here. Like, he can run up here, but he's running into base range, and that's not really going to work out for him. So, deleting one of these guys would be okay. Yeah, that's about it. That's my 2 cents on the situation. The other thing is, like, this infantry could attack this battlecopter and do, like, a pretty significant amount of damage. Like, definitely take it down to, like, 4. Yeah, there's potential to take it down to 4. Not necessarily to, you know, go for those kind of moves, but you know what? If you're going to be playing as Grimm, you got to be doing wild things, folks. You got to be a wild child playing as Grimm. Just get the Grimm attacks on the field. That's what you got to do. Number 4 priority in Advanced Wars by Web is yeet your infantry into battlecopters when you're playing as Grimm. Because it's fun, and that's just what you need to do, folks. Not all the time. Alrighty, folks. Another flippin' recon moving up into the front of the pack here, attacking the mech. Oh, as much as I would love to continue yeeting into this situation here, folks, I think it's about time that we pull back and definitely... Why are we over there? That's fine. Okay. That's fine. Whatever. It is what it is. But we're kind of just... It's asking for an attack to happen, which I don't really like. Definitely got to be figuring out some kind of counter to these soiled abominations here, folks. And he needs to get some properties flipped. This is a guaranteed flip this turn, which is absolutely wonderful. This is not a guaranteed flip. This might... Yeah, this is going to work. This is going to go through next turn. Then this should be able to be flipped. And if that is the case, folks, then we are going to be having a good time here. But Jess is out of time. Absolutely out of time. Wasn't even able to move the battlecopter here. Wasn't able to move the tank by the looks of it either. And even if he did, it just moved it slightly out of the way. Now, unfortunately, this is going to be a KO here after the capture. Recapture right away. This is probably not going to be captured now. Might need to consider building something. Like maybe a classy boy of the sky. Over here might be an okay thing to build. I know it's a Jess bomber, but Jess bombers are still pretty powerful, folks. So And it'll be a counter to the flipping Neo tank for one thing. I gotta stop pressing the right key here, and then we have to continue the battle. Alright, this is gonna go through, so that's nice. That is gonna go through. Can't continue fighting into here and really don't want to be throwing away the anti-airs at the moment. Keep the anti-airs in the back lines because once the anti-airs are gone, the battlecopters are gonna just start to be spammed. Battlecopter, anti-air, and the tanks are not gonna be able to contend with that because Grimm's battlecopters are just way stronger than just battlecopters. Unfortunately, that is just the way it goes, folks. It's just simple math. Alright. So, managed to actually save a little bit of time that turn. So, Jess definitely up in the time game over here. But it is now day 20. And we have a flippin' haymaker. The super co-power. Both of these anti-airs are gone. They're gone. Battlecopter right now should be able to destroy one of the anti-airs, actually. Maybe not full KO, folks, but definitely pretty high up there. 47 to 55% over here. 42 to 50% over here, so they're definitely not gonna be sticking around too long. Yeah, see, there it goes, and there it goes. See, our Rziggy, he absolutely knows what is going on. He understands the assignment. He builds a flipping bomber, the classy boy of the sky. Beautiful, and it manages to actually save tons of time here because he's got no units on the field. Triple base skips for the bomber as well, folks. Beautiful. Down to 14 units, though, which is definitely going to be a little bit difficult here, but Marinos needs something. He needs something. He needs some units. Why? Wow. The yeets over here, folks. The yeets. I see what he's trying to do. And this is a tactic that a lot of people will try. Soil abomination down here, folks. This is a tactic that a lot of people will try to do in Lively, but so one thing that I find is people try to do it way too early, folks. They will sacrifice a bunch of tanks and a bunch of vehicles to start eliminating infantry. But the problem with eliminating infantry in this sort of a way, this early in the game, is your opponent is just going to be able to destroy all your vehicles, still build infantry, and still move them over here, and then be able to beat you in the vehicle game long term because they still have 9 days to get across the map. 9 days is a long time. In Advanced Wars, folks, lots can happen in 9 days. You don't want to be sacrificing all your vehicles on day 21. Maybe once it gets to like day 26, 27, 28, and you know that you can actually physically stop some infantry from getting to the front lines and capping those cities, then it's okay to be yeeting all your units over there. But this move right here, I don't think this is really going to work out too well for Jess, because she's going to be losing all these tanks. 1, 2, 3, and then like anti-air on HQ attack right here. That's like totally possible to happen here, folks. Anyways, continuing on with the game over here, day 21. There is one tank gone. There is a capture eliminated, and that's it. These guys are still doomed because they can't really do anything. I mean, you can attack the infantry, and that's about it. But just like theoretically here, folks, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's like 8 days or so to get over here. But if you build a recon or a transport copter, you get over there in like 2 or 3 days. So maybe, oh, why would we wait? Because of a strike. Okay. Yeah, definitely planning on getting captures down south over here, folks. But the Solar Abomination rushing over here should be able to put a stop to the majority of the captures over here. But this anti-air could move right here, strike out this infantry, and then this infantry goes here, gets this capture. So that is definitely plan number 1. I would say that is probably going to be occurring here next turn. Just continues to send the tanks forward to eliminate some units over here. Now let's see if our Rziggy goes for the plan here, folks. This is definitely a really good idea. Attack this, capture this, depending on the damage here, of course, but I think that should, I'm pretty sure we established this earlier, that is a guaranteed KO. So that is one way to acquire one of the properties back, and that will make it an even game. So definitely goes for that. Yeah, 127% we are going for that attack every single time. Alrighty, folks. Boom! 2 HP to 4 HP eliminated up there as well. And the infantry is attacking. Alright, mech not continuing the capture, just attacking attacking the battle copters. That's what I'm talking about, folks. You can attack battle copters with infantry. It's not necessarily advised all the time, but sometimes it works, and that's about it. This bomber, though. This bomber needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed. It needs to have some kind of a counter over here, over on day 23. The soiled abominations are moving in, just eliminating the infantry. And now the bomber is going down south. We potentially might need a fighter. We might need a fighter down south to contend with this bomber, because there might not be anything else available that can get there super quick. We build the anti-air. It's going to be 2, 3, maybe 4 days to the front lines. That is far too long for a bomber to just be running amok, destroying all your units. Definitely some scary stuff. Bomber's not in range to interrupt this capture, though, so this guy can go over here, interrupt the capture. That'll at least keep it an even game. Artillery take. No, we didn't interrupt the capture. We didn't interrupt the capture. Yeah, we didn't interrupt the capture. So anti-air would have been able to attack the fighter. That would have been a problem. But losing the property is a bigger problem at the moment, I think, folks. Like, that is definitely some danger territory. And the Neo tank is in range to be hit by the bomber. Now, there is some hope that this property, maybe it gets flipped, and maybe Jess could flip it back and keep it an even game. But this is definitely looking to be like a very dire situation here, folks, over here on day 24. What? Oh my god. Ah, the damage. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. Get that soiled abomination off of the field. The classiest unit in Advanced Wars by Web. Beautiful stuff over here, folks. Beautiful stuff. You absolutely love to see. You don't like to see what's going on up north. We just pretend that didn't happen, folks. But down south, yeah, that is some beautiful stuff going on. Unfortunately, classiest unit of the sky is going to be destroyed by the fighter. But you know what? It would have been nice if he actually destroyed it. If he actually popped the power, he would have destroyed it. But he didn't pop the power. That is a clean flipping Neo Strikes attack over here. Oh, that is going to be a deadly flipping attack. Folks, I'm telling you, folks. If you're still here at this point in the game, I'm going to give you another chance. Guess how much damage this Soiled Abomination is going to be doing against the other Soiled Abomination. A Grimm Soiled Abomination sitting on a road with a Jess superpower with 1 comm tower. No cheating. Tell me what you think, because we are going to be finding out right now. Let's see. We got the 1 Soiled Abomination and 2 Soiled Abominations. 105 to 116% damage, folks. That is a clean one-shot. Unfortunately for Jess, definitely a Knuckle Duster plus Battlecopter Neo over here will be able to destroy this. So this guy is going to be short-lived, but it was absolutely wonderful while it lasted. Stinky, but wonderful. It was nice. It was nice. It's nice to see a Neo tank get destroyed, even if it is a Neo tank doing it. But, you know, that's one less Neo tank in the world. Boom! We got the Haymaker over here. Gets the interrupt, goes for the attack, and then goes for the attack. Boom. That was pretty big. That was pretty big damage, folks. Oh, and even does 50 over here. Builds the transport copter, like I was saying, folks. You gotta get the transport copters on the field. It is day 25. Things are getting absolutely flippin' dire. You gotta get a transport copter on the field. You gotta make sure that you keep those properties, folks. At the moment, our Rziggy is holding on to those properties like it's flipping candy that he doesn't want to share. But he's holding on to them, folks. Oh, and here's another capture over here. Probably not going to go through, but 28,700 funds available to Marinos right now. Could potentially build that bomber. Build the classiest unit in the sky, folks. That is what you got to be doing. Beautiful stuff. Now, this guy can go here, eliminate this in one shot, and this guy can go over here, eliminate this in one shot. So that is kind of unfortunate. But we'll see if Rziggy can spot the attack, folks. And it is a pretty obvious choice, so definitely going to be popping that. Oh, interesting. Goes for the battlecopter instead. I guess the battlecopter is an immediate threat to the infantry over here, so it's not necessarily a terrible idea. This fighter could potentially stop the transport copter, I guess. Oh, but there are no infantry. There are absolutely no infantry. Look at this flip and move over here, folks. Those cities are getting surrounded over here on day 27. But we are going in, folks. We are digging. We are digging deep, and we are trying to flip this property. We could flip this property. It could happen. Definitely could potentially maybe happen. Neo-tank needs to go here. Fighter needs to go here. If the fighter goes here, then it can be flipped. I'm telling you, it can be flipped. Maybe. Oh, we blocked the mech, but why do we block the mech when you can go over the mountain? That's probably not really the intention. But we didn't destroy this, so I guess we couldn't even do that block. So, I mean, I'm just kind of thinking out loud for moves that obviously are not going to be working. Okay, boom. Ouch. Absolutely ouch, folks. Not what you want to be seeing for our good friend Jess, but there's flipping 3 transport copters on the field now, and they are funneling infantry all over the place. An anti-air has just spawned into existence right in front of the fighter. The fighter's forced to run away, attacks the transport copter, and we get the classiest unit in the sky, destroys an anti-air. Now it is absolutely uncontested, folks. This Neo-tank has absolutely nothing. He cannot do anything. This guy cannot rush in here. Another bomber has entered the fray, but this property is about to be flipped on day 28, and it was an even game. Oh, and it's now 20-18 once again. This property is not going to be flipped. There's too many units available, and Grimm just continues the relentless assault over on the Western Front. Doesn't even need to build any more units, folks. Just base skip, build the bomber. That's all you got to do at the end of the game here, folks. Oh, we got an attack over here. Day 29 could potentially start capping on day 30, but unfortunately, that is not enough time to get the capture. The way that it is looking right now, folks, is I believe Rziggy is going to be getting that win after a long, hard-fought battle between these two. What an absolute massive battle between these two. And 2 properties are about to be flipped over here on day 30, but that is not enough time. Rziggy gets the additional flip. 21 properties to 17. Busts out the pipe runner. And that is it, folks. That is it. We end this game with a pipe runner and a dream. A dream that came true for a wonderful, wonderful Grimm player. What an absolutely banger of a match between these two. What a great game. Great game indeed. Now, I think, you know, I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it, folks. I think Jess was doing really good for a little while. You know what? Definitely a little, whatever, you know? But she was doing really good. But this move right here, bringing all these tanks up and attacking the infantry, that was the biggest flaw. That was the biggest flaw right there. If we had held back and played more defensively, I think we could have potentially gotten the win, because Grimm Neo-tanks can be destroyed with battlecopter tank combinations for sure, especially when you're using Overdrive, folks. But when we sent it forward to just destroy infantry and we lost all that value, that was definitely kind of the nail in the coffin. But fantastic game between these two. Hopefully you all enjoyed that one, and if you did, consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now.